Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to your PDW session. Now, you might be aware, but this week is Children's Mental Health Week. So for the whole of this week, the 1st to the 7th of February 2021, is all about making children aware of mental health. And that's what today's lesson is going to be about. So, firstly, I want you to think, what is our health? Pause the video and have a think. You might have thought that our health comes in two different parts. We can have physical health, so health about our body and how it's functioning, how well we can function, but also mental health. And mental health is all about our thoughts, feelings, and our emotions, so how we are feeling. Now, do you think physical or mental health is more important for us? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, you might have said one or the other, but actually it's really important that we look after both our physical and our mental health. And we're going to think about how we can do that in a bit more detail today. So, I want us to think about, for start with, our physical health. How can we make sure we are physically healthy? Pause the video and have a think. You might have said a variety of things. We can make sure we are physically healthy by getting enough sleep. Get our full 8 hours sleep at night, we will wake up feeling fresh and physically healthy in the morning. Living in a safe home, feeling safe where we are. Eating well, making sure we eat a balanced diet. Getting enough exercise, going for walks, or maybe, if you're into it, runs or bike rides, go for a cycle. When we exercise, it helps our heart to stay healthy, and that gives us that physical health. Also, making sure that we keep clean by having regular showers and baths, making sure we are hygienic. Another way that we can make sure that we are looking after ourselves physically is by thinking positive, but also being real about whether we're feeling sad or angry. Because sometimes we feel like it's a bad thing to feel sad or angry. But it's definitely not. It's a really good thing to acknowledge and recognise that you are feeling a negative way, because that can help you to realise, what can I do to help that negative emotion turn into a positive emotion? Dressing well, for example, making sure that you dress according to the weather. What clothes would you wear in the winter? Would you go outside in shorts and a t-shirt? No, you wouldn't, would you? Because in winter it's cold. We need to make sure we look after our physical health and we dress appropriately. So warm clothes in the winter and rainproof coat or an umbrella in the rain. Okay, another thing, going back to the emotion side of it, talking about those issues and things that make you angry. So if you do feel angry or upset or sad or frustrated, you talk about that with another grown-up or a teacher, and you question, how could this help you? What could you do now to help you turn this emotion around? So, now we've thought a bit about physical health, is there anything else that you think is really important and how we can look after our physical health? Okay, so now we are thinking about mental health. Now, mental health is something we really need to understand, because mental health is all about what goes on the inside. So to do with your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions. Those three components make up your mental health. Now, you might be feeling quite positive and optimistic one day, but then you might wake up another day and feel quite sad and a bit under the weather. And that's okay, because your mental health can change based on your different situations and your different tasks in your day-to-day life every day. And there's this quote here that I really, really love, and I'm going to share it with you. So it says, being able to identify and express your feelings and emotions in a healthy way, learning how to cope with the events of life. And these words, identify, express and cope, they're all highlighted in white. They're really important things about mental health. So making sure that we really identify our feelings, we express them, and then we can learn how to cope with them to make situations a bit better and easier for us to cope with. Now we're going to start to think about how we can look after our mental health now. So I want you to think, how can we look after our mental health? Our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings. How can we look after that? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, you might have said a variety of things, but I have got a little picture here of different ways that we can look after our mental health. So sometimes we might have a down day and we might be struggling, we might be feeling a bit tired, and that's okay. But if you are struggling, don't be afraid to tell someone how you're feeling. And the same way that you can express how you're feeling or thinking to your friends, a family member, or a teacher. Think about your VIPs. What does that stand for again? Our very important person. So if your very important person is your friend or a family member or your teacher, if you're struggling or you're feeling a type of way, express your feelings to them. Because what I always say is talking to someone makes you feel so much better. You get it all out. And this is the same as trying not to keep things bottled up, talking to someone about your feelings. I use the thought of having a bottle, and if you have too many things in your bottle, too many worries, too many negative thoughts, and you don't tell anyone, then your bottle's going to explode. Like, for example, if you shake a fizzy drink and you open the lid, it all explodes. That might happen to your bottle. If you keep all those things bottled up, then one day it might explode. Okay? You can do mindfulness techniques. So this idea of breathing, working on your breathing, your mental fitness, making sure that you take care of yourself in this form of self-care. You take this mindfulness, whether or not that's doing some mindfulness colouring, some breathing exercises. That helps to calm you and to settle you if you're feeling a certain way. But also know when to stop. So like I said to you on our Zoom call yesterday morning, that if you feel like you need a break, have a break. There's lots and lots of pressures right now with this getting the learning done, but we don't need to feel that pressure, because if you need a break, then you just stop your learning and say, I'm going to return back to that when I am ready and when I feel like I've got energy again. And that's okay, because you knowing when to stop is you actually taking control of your emotions, which is fantastic. Not being afraid to ask for help, but also realising it's okay not to feel okay. If you feel sad, if you're having a down day, it's okay. Making sure that you don't fight the feelings and convince yourself, oh, it's so silly that I feel sad today, because it's not silly, because it's actually really, really normal. So we need to really make sure we are looking after our mental health by doing these following things whenever we feel it's necessary. Now, this year's theme for Children's Mental Health Week is all about expressing ourselves. So finding these ways to share these feelings, thoughts or ideas through being creative. So this could be through art, music, writing, poetry, dance, drama, lots and lots of activities, but just making sure that you feel good. Now, it's really important to remember that this idea to express yourself is not to be the best, being the best of the best, or putting on a performance. It's about finding a way to show who you are and how you see the world to help you feel good about yourself. Now, your mental health is really important, and your thoughts, your views are important. So how does it affect you? Now, some of you might have seen the film Inside Out. If you have seen the film, what's it about? What do you think it has to do with mental health? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, if you haven't seen the film Inside Out is a story about age, and it's about a person called Riley, who is growing up, getting older, and learning about change and dealing with the different emotions she's experiencing. Now, I don't mean just the happy emotions, but also the sad emotions, because on a day-to-day basis, we experience lots and lots of different emotions. I want you to think, what are some different types of emotions, and how do they affect you? Pause the video and have a think. You might have said that there are the following emotions. So in the Inside Out film, there are lots and lots of different emotions that people go through. People go through sadness, where they feel quite negative and down. People go through joy, where they're feeling really happy and excited. People go through fear, where they feel quite scared and anxious. People go through disgust, where they're feeling quite, ooh, that's not very nice what you just said. Some people go through anger in the film, where they feel quite furious and raging at something. Now, these are all emotions that we might feel on a day-to-day basis as well, and that's okay, but we need to start to recognise when we are feeling this way so we know how to express it. And that's what they did in the film Inside Out. Now, some of the emotions that we looked at could be considered quite negative. But do you think all emotions are negative? Pause the video and have a think. You might have said, yes, Miss Newman, lots of emotions are negative, but also some of them aren't negative. When we feel joy, that's not negative, but when we feel sad, that might be negative. But sadness isn't always a negative feeling, because in the film Inside Out, sadness actually helps Riley. Now, if you've seen this film, you'll know how sadness helps Riley, but if you haven't seen this film, you will. I'll tell you that sadness helps Riley to gain this empathy and sympathy during times of loss. Now, in the film, Riley experiences a loss, and when we feel like we have lost something, whether it be a toy or a person or even a memory or an experience, we might feel really sad. But in this film, Riley turns that sadness around and she uses it as a positive feeling. She uses it to really gain empathy, sympathy, that feeling where you're really putting yourself into someone else's shoes and really thinking how they might feel. So, based on this, can sadness always be negative? Or can the feeling of sadness ever be good? Sometimes sadness can be good. It can be a way of making you really think about the good things in life, what you do have and what you should be thankful for, definitely. Now, today your task in PDW is to think about the words I am enough. So, you have got a portrait picture, and what you need to do is draw a self-portrait in the middle, as big as you can. So it's going to be a picture of you in the frame provided, just of your face. So just of your face, maybe down to here. So from the neck upwards. We don't need your arms or your legs in it, okay? So just your face, your lovely face. You can colour it in, colour your eyes in if your eyes are blue or brown or green. Make sure though, would you colour your face in red? Is your face red? No, it's not red, is it? If you don't have any colours, you can leave it blank. But please make sure that you don't rush this, because we want to have a go at putting these on display when we're back in school to really appreciate the fact that everyone, you are all enough. You are all unique and you are all special. And this is how, because you're all different. We've got all your lovely faces from the neck upwards. So you are all different, and you are going to start to think about all the details that make you unique. Now, don't laugh, but I've had a go at my own. Now, this is not me. I will admit I found this picture on Google, and it's definitely not me. It definitely doesn't look like me. But year 4, can I draw? No, I can't draw, can I? But maybe that's something that I need to start saying to myself. I can draw. I am an artist. That might be something I can start saying to myself after this lesson. So even I've learnt something today. So this will be your self-portrait in the middle of your frame. Now, I haven't chose to colour mine in, but you might. You can see that I've really tried to think about the shading, like we did in our art lessons. I've really tried to really focus on my eyes as well, bringing my eyes out, okay? Really tried to focus on my hair, but I haven't rushed it. I haven't scribbled it. I haven't done a stick man. I've really tried. It might be worth year 4, someone actually taking a photograph of you, and you can have a go at copying that, because that might help you. Because we've got some fantastic artists in year 4, don't we? I can see lots of you nodding. Jonah, I can see you nodding. You're a fantastic artist. Ibrahim, Jasmine, you're a fantastic artist. Jakob, Marks. Year 4 is just Natalia, fantastic. Year 4 is just crowded with artists. So you can show me that today. Round the outside, I want you to start to think of ways that you are unique, you are special. So I've thought of ways that I'm unique and I'm special. And sometimes you might feel, oh, Miss Newman, I don't want to do this. But it really helps you and lifts your mood. When I did this, I felt very positive. So I've said that one thing that makes me unique is I like to help people. I'm polite, I'm a happy person, I'm kind and caring, and I make my friends laugh. So all around the outside, you can do this however you wish. You can do it in different colours, but should your handwriting be really scruffy? Should your handwriting be really beautiful and really clear? Absolutely. So that is your task today, year 4. Have fun doing this, and most importantly, be proud of you. You are enough and you are all brilliant. Have a fantastic day. Bye, Year 4.